Now let's take a look at China's growing influence here in the region. From Sri Lanka's Belt and Road Initiative to Bangladesh's investment projects, it is evident that China is branching out to make sure that their prominence is seen here in the region. For this, China has now come up with a new security architecture known as GSI, also as the Global Security Initiative. But are there any takers in South Asia who are now wary of China's debt influence? Here's more.
The foreign secretaries of China and Nepal meeting in Beijing ostensibly to discuss China's ongoing projects in the Himalayan state. This after Nepal showed little or no interest in getting on board China's ambitious Belt and Road Initiative or the Global Security Initiative. A statement after the meeting only suggested that China had promised to export Nepali products to Beijing and support its development. There was no mention of the BRI. It seems South Asia is getting wary of China's aggressive debt trap development and China's Belt and Road Initiative, strategically located at the intersection of the traditional Silk Road and the 21st century maritime route.
Some people are attempting to hype up the so-called debt trap and slander China by accusing China of making opaque loans. We firmly reject the accusation. China has always been committed to supporting the economic and social development of developing countries.
Now let's look at what's the pattern of investment in Nepal. China is helping Nepal build roads, railways, highways, tunnels and dams. Most of these projects are for the $2.75 billion Trans-Himalayan Multi-Dimensional Connectivity project. But most of these projects are concentrated in northern Nepal, close to the Tibet Autonomous Region, to expand its strategic presence in an area close to India. China has given $15 billion assistance for projects to Nepal. So have these South Asian nations prospered due to China's investment and money? While China holds considerable economic leverage over these countries, its ongoing projects, commercial lending, opaque negotiations and debt trap investments are only putting these nations in a vicious cycle of economic dependence. China's all-weather friend Pakistan owes China over $30 billion in debt, that is 30% of all its external debt. Beijing's assistance has failed to uplift Pakistan's economy, generate revenue, and more loans worth $2 billion have only meant more dependency. China has delayed crucial projects in Pakistan like the Karachi Rail Project, the Azad Patan Hydro Project and the Thar Coal Project. There is also widespread local backlash to Chinese projects in Balochistan as it has caused displacement of local residents. Sri Lanka and Pakistan are both going through one of the worst economic crises, and the common denominator is China. Strategically located at the midpoint of shipping lanes that connect China to the Middle East, Beijing has made significant investments in Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka owes more than $8 billion in debt to China. In 2002, Sri Lanka began making the Hambantota port with a loan of $1.1 billion. Once the island nation defaulted on the loan, China took control of the port in 2017. In 2022, when Lanka entered a severe debt crisis, exacerbated by loans, it had to finally ask for an IMF bailout, and it's not clear if loans from China have been restructured. A similar situation in Bangladesh, which has an external debt of $72 billion, of which $5 billion is owed to China. Not a large sum, but China has growing investments in all its sectors such as energy, physical infrastructure, railway connectivity projects, which has led to the country calling for a more cautious approach recently. The Bangladesh Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina highlighting that Dhaka was not dependent on any particular country. In South Asia, China wants to expand its influence, secure maritime positions, infiltrate economies. But is its string of pearls policies beginning to unravel? Are countries looking the other way, wanting to slow down their debt dependence? Recent developments seem to suggest so.